The air in Bowling Green, Kentucky hummed with a peculiar tension that had nothing to, hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For 1,000 pounds sister latest news update, please subscribe to the channel with the late summer heat. It was the kind of charged silence that precedes a storm, thick with unspoken words and unresolved history. Amy Slayton Halstead, once known to the world as half of the inseparable, headline-grabbing duo from 1000 lb Sisters, stood before her full-length mirror, smoothing the delicate lace of her ivory wedding dress. The fabric whispered against her skin, a stark contrast to the internal cacophony threatening to drown out the quiet joy of the moment. Her wedding day, the culmination of a love story with Michael Halstead that had weathered its own share of public scrutiny and personal trials, was finally here. Yet, the most significant question hanging over the celebration wasn't about the cake or the flowers. It was a simple, agonizing uncertainty. Would Tammy Slayton be there? For years, Amy and Tammy Slayton were more than sisters. They were a phenomenon. Their shared struggles with extreme obesity, their fierce loyalty, their volatile arguments played out under the relentless gaze of reality television cameras, had made them household names. Their bond was the show's beating heart, messy, complicated, often frustrating, but undeniably profound. They navigated health crises, weight loss journeys, relationship dramas, and the surreal experience of sudden fame together. Amy's marriage to Michael in 2020, while Tammy was still incarcerated, had been a poignant moment, marked by Tammy's absence, but underscored by their enduring connection. Now, as Amy prepared for this second wedding, a renewal of vows, a fresh start, a public declaration of the life she and Michael were building, the shadow of that past absence loomed large. The path to this day hadn't been smooth. The sisters' relationship, once seemingly unbreakable, had fractured under the immense pressure of their individual journeys and the microscope of fame. Tammy's own path, particularly following her dramatic weight loss surgery and subsequent struggles, had taken her down avenues that sometimes diverged sharply from Amy's more stable, family-oriented life. Public spats, social media barbs, and periods of icy silence had become part of their narrative. The closeness that defined their early years on the show felt like a distant memory, replaced by a wary distance punctuated by moments of tentative outreach that often fizzled out. Amy, fiercely protective of her marriage and her children, had drawn boundaries. Tammy, grappling with her own demons and the complexities of her newfound independence and public persona, sometimes chafed against them. Amy's fingers traced the intricate beading on her bodice, her reflection showing a woman transformed. The physical changes were undeniable, the result of hard-won battles and medical interventions. But the transformation within was perhaps more significant. She carried herself with a quiet confidence, a hard-earned peace that radiated from her core. She loved Michael deeply, cherished her children, and had built a life centered on stability and privacy, a stark contrast to the chaotic energy that often surrounded her sister. Yet, the ghost of their shared past, the deep-seated need for her sister's presence on this milestone day, refused to be exorcised. It wasn't just about tradition, it was about validation, about closing a chapter, about proving that the bond, however strained, could still hold across town, or perhaps in a different state altogether. Tammy's whereabouts were often fluid. The other half of the equation wrestled with her own turmoil. Tammy Slayton, ever the enigma, was likely surrounded by her own entourage, her own whirlwind of plans and pronouncements. Social media offered cryptic glimpses, a glamorous photo shoot, a cryptic quote about new beginnings, a fleeting mention of family obligations, but nothing concrete about Amy's wedding. Would she prioritize this? Or would the allure of her own projects, her own narrative, take precedence? Tammy's journey had been one of radical self-reinvention, sometimes at the expense of old ties. Her loyalty, once fiercely directed solely at Amy, now seemed fragmented, divided between her team, her fans, her romantic interests, and her own evolving sense of self. The invitation had been sent, of course. Amy, ever the dutiful sister at heart, couldn't bring herself not to extend it. But sending it felt like casting a message in a bottle into a stormy sea. Would it be found? Would it be answered? The uncertainty seeped into every corner of Amy's preparations. Her bridesmaids, a mix of close friends and family members who understood the complex history, tiptoed around the subject. Conversations about the ceremony logistics would inevitably stall when someone glanced towards the door, as if expecting Tammy to burst through it at any moment, as she might have done years ago. Amy's mother, Linda, a constant presence trying to bridge the gap between her daughters, offered platitudes. "She'll come, honey. She wouldn't miss this." But the worry lines etched deeper around Linda's eyes betrayed her own doubts. She knew the depth of the rift better than anyone. Michael, Amy's steadfast anchor, watched his wife with a mixture of love and concern. He remembered the raw pain in Amy's eyes during their first wedding when Tammy couldn't be there. He saw the same vulnerability resurface now, masked by a determined smile. He wanted this day to be perfect, purely about their love and commitment. Yet, he understood that for Amy, Tammy's presence or absence was inextricably woven into the fabric of her happiness. He'd held her through tears after their last major falling out, listened to her agonize over texts left unanswered, seen the flicker of hope die when Tammy prioritized a public appearance over a private family call. He knew this wasn't just about a sister missing a party. It was about the potential shattering of a foundational relationship that had defined Amy's life for decades. The countdown wasn't measured just in hours and minutes, but in heartbeats filled with anticipation and dread. Every ring of Amy's phone sent a jolt through her. Was it Tammy? Confirming? Apologizing? Explaining? Or just another vendor confirming floral arrangements? The silence from Tammy's camp was deafening. In the age of instant communication, the lack of a simple "see you tomorrow" felt like a deliberate statement. Had the years of friction, the public disagreements, the perceived slights, real or imagined on both sides, finally built an insurmountable wall? Was the bond that survived incarceration, near fatal health scares, and the glare of reality TV finally succumbing to the quieter, more insidious erosion of time, distance, and divergent paths? Amy tried to focus on the positives. She looked at photos of her children, her reason for so much of her strength. She thought about Michael's unwavering support, the life they'd built brick by brick. She reminded herself that her worth, her joy on this day, shouldn't be contingent on anyone else's actions, not even her sister's. But the truth was, it was contingent, at least in part. Tammy wasn't just a sister. She was the sister. Their story was a duet, and a solo performance, no matter how beautiful, felt incomplete. The shared history, the childhood secrets, the teenage rebellions, the adult struggles faced side by side created a unique resonance that no one else could replicate. Tammy's absence wouldn't just leave an empty chair. It would leave a void in the very narrative of Amy's life that this wedding was meant to celebrate. Speculation ran rampant beyond the immediate family. Fans of 1000 LB Sisters dissected every social media post, every paparazzi photo, searching for clues. Would the show capitalize on the drama? Would Tammy's non-attendance become a storyline? the public nature of their lives meant their private pain was often fodder for discussion, adding another layer of pressure. Amy desperately wanted this day to be private, sacred about her and Michael. But the specter of the cameras, the knowledge that millions might be watching to see if the famous sisters had reconciled enough for this moment, was an unwelcome guest dot. As the final hours ticked away, the practicalities of the wedding day demanded attention. Hair was pinned, makeup was perfected, the bouquet of white roses and peonies was arranged. Amy took deep breaths, trying to center herself in the love she felt for her husband and children. She repeated affirmations. "This is my day, my love is enough, my family is here." But the image of Tammy in a bridesmaid dress, laughing, crying, sharing that unspoken sisterly understanding during the ceremony, kept flashing in her mind. It was a vision rooted in a past that felt increasingly like a dream dot. The limousine arrived to take her to the venue. The soft murmur of the engine was a stark contrast to the frantic drumming of her heart. She stepped outside, the Kentucky air warm and heavy. She scanned the street, a habit born of years of hoping to see her sister's car pull up unexpectedly. Nothing. Just the quiet hum of the neighborhood. A wave of resignation, cold and heavy, washed over her. Maybe this was it. Maybe the chapter was closing without the reconciliation she'd secretly hoped this wedding might spark. Dot inside the car, heading towards the church or the garden venue, the specifics blurred in her anxiety, Amy allowed herself a moment of raw honesty. Tears welled up, not of sadness for the wedding itself, but for the loss of what could have been, the loss of the effortless closeness, the shared language, the feeling of having someone who truly understood the unique weight of their shared history. She mourned the sister she remembered, the one who would have been her fiercest protector and loudest cheerleader on this day, regardless of their differences. Whether Tammy's absence was born of anger, indifference, logistical impossibility, or simply her own chaotic life pulling her in another direction, the result was the same, a profound sense of loss on a day meant for pure joy. Yet, Amy Slayton Halstead was not defined by loss. She was defined by resilience. Wiping her tears, she straightened her shoulders. She thought of Michael waiting for her, his eyes filled with love and promise. She thought of her children, their faces beaming with excitement. She thought of the life she had fought so hard to build, the health she had reclaimed, the love she had nurtured. That was real. That was hers. Tammy's choice, whatever it was, belonged to Tammy. It didn't diminish Amy's worth, her love, or the significance of this day dot. As the car pulled up to the venue, the sounds of the string quartet tuning their instruments drifted through the open window. Guests were arriving, their laughter and chatter a gentle buzz. Amy took one last deep breath. The countdown was over. The moment was here. She would walk down that aisle, not as half of 1,000 Eldeb sisters, but as Amy Halstead, a woman in love, a mother, a survivor. She would do it with grace, with strength, and with the love of those who were there surrounding her. Whether Tammy Slayton stepped out of the shadows and into the sunlight of the ceremony just as the processional began, offering a tearful, last-minute reconciliation, remained the unanswered question hanging in the humid Kentucky air. The cameras might capture it, or they might capture only Amy's solitary walk, her head held high, her heart full of love despite the ache of absence. The truth was, Amy's journey, her wedding, her happiness, ultimately belonged to her. The countdown had ended. The next chapter, with or without her sister by her side in that specific moment, was hers to write, and she was ready to walk into it, one step at a time, on her own terms, carrying the love she had, not mourning the love that might be missing. The aisle stretched before her, bathed in light, leading to her future. She took the first step. 1000LB. Sister Star, Amy Slayton's wedding date revealed. In a heartwarming turn of events that has captivated fans of the TLC reality series 1000LB, sisters Amy Slayton, one half of the beloved Kentucky duo alongside her sister Tammy, has officially announced her wedding date. The news, which began circulating through social media and entertainment outlets in early 2024, marks a significant milestone in Amy's personal journey, one that has unfolded in front of millions of viewers since the show's debut in 2020. Amy Slayton, known for her resilience, humor, and unwavering love for her family, will exchange vows with her longtime fiancé, Michael Halter, on June 15, 2024. The couple, who became engaged in late 2022 during a private, intimate proposal that was later shared with fans on the show, has spent the past year and a half preparing for their big day while continuing to navigate the complexities of life, health, and parenthood in the public eye. For those unfamiliar with 1000LB. Sisters, the series chronicles the lives of Amy and Tammy Slayton, sisters from Dixon, Kentucky, who both struggled with extreme obesity and sought life-changing medical interventions. The show quickly became a ratings success for TLC, not only for its raw depiction of weight loss journeys, but also for its genuine portrayal of sisterhood, familial bonds, and the emotional undercurrents that often accompany physical transformation. Amy, the younger of the two, has consistently stood out for her optimistic spirit and her role as a devoted mother to her two children, Gage and Glenn. Michael Halter, Amy's fiancé and soon-to-be husband, has been a steady presence in her life since their relationship began in 2021. Unlike many reality TV romances that flare brightly and fade quickly, Amy and Michael's connection has deepened over time, weathering both personal challenges and the inevitable scrutiny that comes with being on a nationally televised program. Michael, who works in construction and maintains a relatively low public profile, has been praised by fans for his patience, kindness, and unwavering support of Amy through her health struggles and emotional ups and downs. The couple's engagement was a moment of pure joy for viewers. In a tearful scene that aired during season 4, Michael got down on one knee in their shared home, surrounded by Amy's children and a few close friends. "You've changed my life," he told her, voice trembling. "I want to spend every single day making you happy." Amy, overcome with emotion, accepted immediately, her laughter mingling with tears as her children cheered in the background. Since then, wedding planning has been a slow but steady process. Given Amy's ongoing health journey, including multiple surgeries related to her weight loss efforts and the physical limitations that sometimes accompany them, the couple has opted for a modest, meaningful ceremony rather than an extravagant affair. According to sources close to the family, the wedding will take place at a private venue in Kentucky, not far from where Amy and Tammy grew up. The guest list will be intimate, featuring close family members, longtime friends, and a few select members of their support network from the medical and therapeutic communities who have played pivotal roles in Amy's transformation. Tammy Slayton, ever the protective older sister, is expected to serve as Amy's maid of honor. The sisters' relationship has been central to the show's narrative, marked by both deep affection and occasional friction, a dynamic that resonates with many viewers who have siblings of their own. Tammy has been vocal in her support of Amy's relationship with Michael, often referring to him as the real deal in interviews and social media posts. "He treats her like queen," Tammy said during a recent podcast appearance. "And after everything she's been through, she deserves that." Amy's wedding comes at a time of renewed hope and stability in her life. After undergoing gastric bypass surgery and subsequent skin removal procedures, she has made remarkable progress in her physical health. More importantly, she has spoken openly about her emotional growth, learning to set boundaries, prioritize self-care, and build a life centered on love and authenticity rather than fear or insecurity. Her relationship with Michael has been a cornerstone of that evolution. In a recent Instagram post celebrating their engagement anniversary, Amy wrote, "2 years ago today, you asked me to be yours forever. And every day since, you've shown me what forever looks like through patience, through laughter, through hard days and good ones. I can't wait to call you my husband." The post, accompanied by a photo of the couple holding hands at sunset, garnered over 200,000 likes and thousands of supportive comments from fans around the world. The wedding date announcement was made official during a special 1000LB Sisters episode that aired in March 2024. In it, Amy and Michael sat down with a wedding planner to discuss venue options, floral arrangements, and attire. Viewers watched as Amy tried on wedding dresses, her face lighting up with each new silhouette. "I never thought I'd get to do this," she admitted during a quiet moment with the camera. "Not just get married, but feel beautiful doing it." That sentiment echoes a broader theme in Amy's journey: reclaiming joy and self-worth after years of feeling invisible or unworthy. For many fans, her wedding represents more than just a personal milestone. It's a symbol of possibility, proof that love and happiness are attainable regardless of one's past or physical circumstances. Michael, for his part, has remained humble and grounded throughout the process. In a rare interview with People magazine, he spoke about his admiration for Amy's strength. "She's been through so much, and she never gives up," he said. "She's the strongest person I know. I just want to be the person who stands beside her, who lifts her up when she needs it, and who reminds her every day how amazing she is." The couple's wedding will also mark a new chapter for Amy as a mother. Her sons, Gage and Glenn, have grown up alongside the show's audience, and their bond with Michael has been a recurring storyline. In recent episodes, Michael has been shown helping with homework, attending school events, and even joining the boys on fishing trips, a testament to the family unit they've built together. On the wedding day, both boys will serve as ring bearers, a detail that brought tears to Amy's eyes when she first discussed it on camera. As the June 15th date approaches, fans are eagerly anticipating glimpses of the